The sport we all know and love is back. Guys, we wait 8 months for college football. 8 months of just waiting for our Saturdays to be exciting. Even if your Saturdays were exciting before, college football, it just adds an extra layer of excitement to the weekend. It really does. And you only get so much Saturdays of college football. You just got to take it in every time you get it. It wasn't yesterday yet another reminder on how amazing this sport is. I mean, truly, wasn't yesterday just another reminder of how crazy and awesome college football is? I mean, unbelievable, man. Welcome to the SEC FT Week 0 recap. And we had a few games on yesterday. We had the one that everybody is talking about because all due respect to the other games and the other teams, no other game was nearly as exciting and important as this one right here. This was the game and is the game that everyone cares about. And it was by far the most exciting game of the day. Nothing even comes close. Nothing comes close. So we're going to, needless to say, we're going to be talking about this game. Florida State, Georgia Tech, and Ireland. The first game of the college football season. A top 10 upset. Unbelievable. And I will say, I'm going to give my thoughts on the game. We're going to talk about Florida State. We're going to talk about Georgia Tech. And I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. This isn't really the channel or the video for analytics. So if you're an analytics junkie, and I completely understand that and respect that, I'm just going to be upfront and honest. This is probably not the video you want to watch. There's going to be some, but it's nowhere near as fancy as other YouTubers. So if you don't want to watch this video, I completely understand. But let's go ahead and get into this. Wasn't this game just another reminder of why college football is so amazing and so weird? And it's yet another reminder that, guys, on paper, you can say whatever you want about a football team. You can make whatever prediction you want based on paper, based on stats, based on talent. On paper, you can talk about anything on paper. But on the field is when it matters. On the field is when it matters. And on the field, when it mattered, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in Ireland upset the number 10 Florida State Seminoles. And I'm going to tell you what right now, bro. I have been afraid to talk trash about teams for a long time because of my own team's shortcomings. But I don't even care anymore, bro. You can say whatever you want about my favorite college football team. You can say whatever you want. But I'm going to have my fun and I'm going to talk my shit because that's what matters. And that, it's all for fun. It's all for fun in the sport. Nothing's going to stop me, bro. And you know what? Florida State, I am going to be 100% honest. They absolutely deserve everything that has come their way after this one. The crying fans deserve it. The school deserves it. Everyone who cried and whined for 9 months about Florida State. They deserve to be in the playoff. All that stuff. Suing everybody. Just crying and making themselves a victim, even after losing by 60 in a bowl game. And you come out after all of that. You come out in Ireland and you lose to Georgia Tech. And that's no shade to Georgia Tech. We're going to be talking about them in a minute. Don't worry. And I have a lot I want to say. But it's just funny, bro. You know what makes this so funny? It's just we've heard from them for so many months. So many months, guys. 9 months. nonstop crying, suing, and just after all of that, in week 0 in Ireland, you lose as a top 10 team. I mean, that was a disaster for Florida State. You could not have started your season any worse, bro. You could not have. But you know what? I'm kind of glad now that these crying idiots, they finally, this is what they deserved, man. I'm just going to be 100% honest. This is what they deserved. We've had to listen to it for months just for you to lose in week 0. You got embarrassed. It's sad enough to get embarrassed in America, but you got embarrassed in Ireland. Not even in your own country. Like, bro, that's the funniest part, man. You had to leave the country. I guess you were so afraid to get embarrassed in America, you just had to get embarrassed somewhere else. I mean, good Lord, man. Florida State, bro. I'm just going to be honest. There were some glaring red flags for Florida State the whole game, too. Now, their kicker made some nice kicks. But outside of a few throws, especially on 4th down, DJ just doesn't look very good. There are some glaring red flags for Florida, and it begs the question, not Florida, Florida State. And it begs the question for me, folks. I mean, was what we saw yesterday... Now, it's week 0, right? I mean, first game of the season for both teams. You know, we can make they're just shaking off some rust argument and everything, which is fine. But, like, there were some glaring red flags, man. Is this Florida State team, the one we saw yesterday, is that going to be the same Florida State team we see in week 8 or week 10, right? That's the question. Are these two teams going to be the same teams in week 10? Because there's a lot of questions. Is Florida State that bad? Is Georgia Tech that good? Me personally, I think it's a mixture of both. I didn't think Florida State was going to be as good as they were last year. I knew they were missing a lot. And I'm not very confident in DJ. I'm just not. No offense to the guy, but this is the kick in the butt that Florida State deserved, man. I'm just, after everything they dealt with, I don't feel bad at all. Like, this is what you deserve. This is what you deserve. And it's going to sting. It's going to sting, and rightfully so. Anyways, now we're going to talk about Georgia Tech, man. To the Georgia Tech fans, congratulations on this win. This is massive. This is massive for Georgia Tech. Their fans, their players, and their coach. Brent Key has got that program heading in the right direction. And look, Georgia Tech has been down for so long, man. They really haven't. They're a program on the up, and seriously, I'm happy for Georgia Tech fans, man. I know what it's like to be in the dump for so long and then to have some optimism. I know what that's like, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. We'll see about Georgia Tech. Are they going to be the same team come week 10? But I'm just being honest. Some of the things I saw at Georgia Tech, there were some concerning things, like on the defense, the missed tackles and some of the other things. But overall, man, Georgia Tech looks like a team that can hang with anybody, in my opinion. I'm not trying to overhype Georgia Tech over one game, but, like, put some respect on their name, man. This is a team that, I've said this about my team as well, man. I've said this about my team. Georgia Tech reminds me of a team that can beat anybody, but can lose to anybody as well. Like, they are weird, man. That's just my opinion. But, I mean, wow. That was a good game by Georgia Tech, and a clutch kicker. He missed one earlier in the game, and he hit it to win the game. And I'm going to talk about Haynes King for a minute. Haynes King, I mean, he's not even the quarterback for my team, but I find him very inspirational. Very inspirational. Like, I like this guy. Like, someone you can rally behind and just actively cheer for, man. Like, Haynes King is him, bro. He's him. Compared to DJ and compared to a lot of quarterbacks in the ACC, let's just be honest, Haynes King, that dude, he makes you want to pull for him, man. He really does. He's got a lot of potential. And I'm going to tell you, I think he's going to be a problem for a lot of ACC teams this year. That was a massive win for Georgia Tech. I can't even say it enough, man. And yesterday, I'm not a Georgia Tech fan. I'm going to be honest. I don't have a problem with them. I don't have anything against Georgia Tech. But yesterday, if you saw me, you would have thought I was a Georgia Tech fan. I was actively pulling for Georgia Tech. I was loud. I was clapping. Like, I basically became a Tech fan for one day. Because I wanted them to get this win. Because I wanted to see Florida State embarrass themselves and to laugh at Florida State after everything they did in the offseason. We already talked about it. And just because it's awesome to see Georgia Tech, after being down for so long, just sting somebody in the butt. And it was so awesome to see. Week 0 upset, man. How about them Yellow Jackets? I think Georgia Tech, they're going to come up and they're going to get some more wins this year. They really are. That is a program on the rise. And honestly, you love to see it. I'm happy for Georgia Tech. A little fun fact, too. I think the last time Georgia Tech beat a top 10 team was against Florida State. And they did it again yesterday in the first college football game of the season. Unreal. Just an amazing way to start the season, man. Just an amazing way to start the season. Florida State scored first, went for 2. They basically had to kick a field goal just to get 14 points. 2 field goals just to get 14 points, bro. But hey, give Fitzgerald some credit. I mean, that dude's an amazing kicker. A 59-yard field goal. Bro, like, can we just clap for that? Seriously, that was pretty cool. Now, on the Georgia Tech side of the ball, we already talked about Haynes King. Dude's a threat with his legs and his arms. I mean, he's a dangerous, fun-to-watch quarterback. Very inspirational. Just love the guy, and I think he's going to be fun to watch all season long. Now, he did have 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and all 3 Georgia Tech touchdowns were rushing touchdowns, right? We had Jamal Haynes, 2 touchdowns, 74 yards running. I mean, dude's a heck of a player. I think he's going to go off this season, and I like the way he played. I really did. He broke off some really nice runs. Haynes King had 54 rushing yards. Again, dude's a threat with his legs. I mean, watch out for Haynes King, man. And watch out for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they are not the laughingstock that they were a few years ago. They're a program on the rise, and they're going to give some teams headaches, man. Georgia Tech, it's time to put some respect on their name, man. Georgia Tech is coming, and the ACC better watch out. Because they big boyed Florida State. I mean, the score was close, yeah, but if you watch that game, Georgia Tech bodied them in the line of scrimmage, man. And I don't know what was up with Florida State, but they just weren't very fun to watch yesterday. There wasn't a lot of excitement with them. Maybe that's a reach, but like, I don't know, man. It just didn't feel like that flashy Florida State we saw last year. And I think, honestly, I'm not saying the season's entirely over because this is one loss, but honestly, dude, you still have Clemson to play. Clemson, I know everyone's ready to give up on them, but they're still a team that can beat anybody, right? Clemson's still a problem and a threat, and especially with that defense. And I don't know, man. Florida State, we're going to see how they look. Their season's not over, in my opinion, but, man, this loss, definitely not much more room for error when it comes to the goals of getting back to the ACC title. Not a good way to start the season for Florida State, but for Georgia Tech, massive dub, man. Massive dub. Ditto to you. Now the next one, New Mexico versus Montana State. What happened here, man? 17-point lead blown by New Mexico. What happened? What happened, bro? I thought New Mexico had this thing, man. They were like, what, 17-0, 31-14. And then all of a sudden, Montana State comes out of nowhere and just What a comeback, man. We had it all yesterday, man. Upsets, a choke job. I mean, my Lord. What a Saturday. Give SMU props. Found a way to beat Nevada. It was like 24-13 Nevada. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Nevada had like an 11-point lead, and SMU found a way to win the football game. Massive respect to SMU. First year in the Power 5 in the ACC. Still doesn't feel right. And that's not a slight to SMU, man. It's just SMU, ACC doesn't really go well together, man. I'm just going to be honest. But, whatever. I digress. 29-24. Mustangs beat Nevada. Good win for them. And we're going to see how SMU does. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting to watch them in the ACC. It's just going to be definitely going to be interesting. Then DSU versus Hawaii. Hawaii winning that one 35-14. I couldn't watch the game. I don't think anyone could, so I don't think there's a way I can really break this down. But hey, 3-touchdown win Hawaii. I mean, congratulations to the Hawaii fans and the Hawaii football team. So there you have it, folks. That is my Week 0 recap. I cannot wait until Thursday. It is game week. South Carolina, Old Dominion. Can't even believe it's back, man. I cannot believe it's back. I'm still going to play it, don't get me wrong, but I no longer have to look to College Football 25 to hold me over, man. College football, the real thing, is back. Welcome back. The sport we all know and love. Thank you all for watching SECFT. Checking out. We'll see you later. Have a nice day.